Hi, this is part 2 of the Pray and Crochet hat for the homeless. You learned in the first tutorial that how to do the hat band, and the second tutorial will be joining it together and working on the main body of our hat. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your band and you're going to join both sides together. You're basically sewing your hat together. So you're going to take one loop, put your hook through one loop of one side and one loop from the opposite side. And you're just going to wrap your yarn around your hook, and you're going to draw that yarn right through those loops. Okay? And you're going to work on the next part, the next loop there, right next to it, and then you're just gonna do evenly space those loops. So you're drawing the yarn through the 3 loops that you have, okay, and moving on to the next loop. So you're inserting your hook through that one, insert your hook through the opposite, just kind of eyeballing it and pulling your yarn right through those 3 loops. Okay? So you're going to finish all the way down to the end here, and then you will have completely sewn up your hat band. Okay, so I finished sewing up the end here, and taking your hook out, you can see that it's got a nice edge to there, and it's completely sewn. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my row here, and this is where I started off. As you can see, you have the stitches, the first row of single crochets. You can see those stitches very clearly. So you're just going to end your first round right here, and you're just going to continue on to the next one. Okay, so you're just going to use your back loops, because it says in your crochet pattern, okay, it says on round 2 on the hat part, it says working in back loops only, single crochet in each stitch around. So you're just going in those back loops, which are right here. You're not working in the front loops. And you're just going to go right around and do just what you did for the first row again, but you're using your back loops this time as a guide instead of just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, and that's going to be your second round. And then you're going to come right back to the same spot that you started, which is right here. And that's going to be your second round. You're looking at your pattern, and it says round 1. Round 1, chain 1, working in the ends of rows across one long side of the band. Work 55 single crochets evenly spaced around. Do not join. We're not really going to count 55. We're just going to kind of eyeball it, depending on the size of your band, because we do have, in part 1, I did say to just measure the band to the size of your head. So everyone's going to have a different size. So what you're basically doing here is you're using your single crochet again, okay? And you're just basically going in any stitch, these stitches. So if you can see the ribbing, you're going to do 1 stitch here, 1 stitch on the ribbing, 1 stitch here, 1 stitch on the ribbing. So it's like you have an indent in your ribbing, you're going to do 1 stitch there, and it comes out, you're going to do another stitch. So you're just basically going to evenly do single crochets across. So I will give you an example on how that works. So you're just going to go in. You're not going to see like that band that you have the kind of the braid that you use with the loops when you typically crochet. This is just going to be kind of eyeballing it. So You're going to go with your hook into any stitch there, into that first ribbing, and you're just going to do a single crochet. Okay? And then you're going to move on to the next one and make sure that you get kind of two loop in there. And this part can be a little tricky if you're not really understanding what I'm saying, because I don't know how well you can see this, because there are no well-defined stitches or anything. So as you can see, I'm going along here, and you can see the braid that you're making here. So this is the beginning of your hat. Okay? So you're just basically evenly spacing these stitches across. And if you need to refresh your memory on how to do a single crochet, you're just going in one of those loops, pulling out, and now you have two loops on your hook, and you're going to just pull the yarn through those two loops. Okay, so as you can see right here, it's a nice braided, without the middle cord, but you have a nice row of single crochets there. And you're just going to carry on with this, oops, all the way around. Until the end, until you come to the end. And if you have stitch markers, you might want to put a stitch marker right there, just so that you know that where the end is. But you can pretty much tell by the ribbing here that you sewed with your crochet hook, joining the band. Okay, and you're just going to keep going. And that will be the first row in the beginning of your hat. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my row here, and this is where I started off. As you can see, you have the stitches, the first row of single crochets. You can see those stitches very clearly. So you're just going to end your first round right here, and you're just going to continue on to the next one. Okay, so you're just going to use your back loops, because it says in your crochet pattern, okay, it says on round 2 on the hat part, it says working in back loops only, single crochet in each stitch around. So you're just going in those back loops, which are right here. You're not working in the front loops. And you're just going to go right around and do just what you did for the first row again, but you're using your back loops this time as a guide instead of just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, and that's going to be your second round. And then you're going to come right back to the same spot that you started, which is right here. And that's going to be your second round. So I'm coming to the end of my second round. I'm coming right to the beginning where I first stitched the hat band together, and I'm going to do my last stitch here, and I'm just going to go on to the next one. Okay, the next round, and you're just doing the back loops only. And as you can see, you're doing another type of ribbing here, and that's how your hat should look. The directions on the hat say it says round 2, working in back loops only, single crochet in each stitch around. It says repeat round 2 until piece measures about 8.5 inches from beginning. So we're going to do probably about maybe 6 to 7 inches. I found that this hat is very big, so from the beginning, this is the beginning right here, so you're just going to measure about 7 inches or 6.5. You can use a ruler or whatnot, but you're just going to keep going until you measure that that's 6.5 or 7 inches, which should be probably maybe up to there. And then after that is to shape the crown, the top of the hat. And that will be our next video tutorial number 3. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and thanks a lot.